Hello there, friend. In this episode, I'm going to discuss some questions from a community member looking for some spiritual interpretation. So this is their question. What is the spiritual interpretation of the NWO and the satanic practices of the elite, such as things I won't actually mention because I don't want to promote any research on those types of things in the past? I thought these were due to an evil spiritual entity, but it sounds like you're saying this is all ego. So a spirit says, and I had this written down because I responded to them, so I'll read what I wrote first. It's disconnect, carnal-minded interpretation and misinterpretation of truth. Disconnected people doing what they understand to be most valuable, expressing their disconnect. Now, Spirit emphasizes nothing is inherently evil. Nothing. That includes Satan. Nothing. God created everything and God is good. At our core, we are whole, we are harmony, we are peace, we are bliss, we are love. At our core. So nothing is inherently bad. But we all have the potential to misperceive and misinterpret due to the carnal. Now, I don't want to, I'm being mindful not to make mention of some of the things that were mentioned in the question, because I don't want to promote an interest in investigating such things, because when we play with dark energy, we have to meet it where it is at. So we have to almost lower our vibration. Okay? But instead, the idea is to, instead of playing with the darkness, is to pray in the light. Maintain the high mental vibration. We don't have to keep looking over our shoulder to see if the devil or negative people are sneaking up on us. Our job is to maintain faith and consciousness, to maintain that pristine consciousness, that pure consciousness. And God's will be done. That is how God's will manifests, is by us surrendering the carnal. Now, to touch again on everything being inherently evil, Spirit is encouraging us to examine first ourselves, because there has always been a time where we have sinned. Now, even when we sin, recognize that it's just a momentary misleading misinterpretation of the carnal mind. We are never inherently evil. Even when we sin, we're just disconnected in that moment. We're never inherently evil. And Spirit is saying, extrapolate that understanding onto all of creation. Even you can be disconnected, but you're still inherently good. That applies to all of creation. All of creation. Truth is true and unchanging. Do you think that all of us could be inherently good and still sin, and still be inherently good while we sin, but there's this one being named Satan that the rules don't apply to? Look around your whole experience and notice that people are just having disconnected thoughts, expressing themselves as sin, but they're still inherently good. They still have that God particle, that divine spark within them. They're just not listening to it. That doesn't make them bad. They're just disconnected from that which they truly are, that within them, which is that good that would allow itself to be expressed as such if they would connect to it and align with it. Blaming Satan is the victim mentality. Saying something else did this to me. But if you would examine all of your experience, every time you've sinned, every time you suffered, you'd notice Satan wasn't in the room. You did it to yourself by allowing and investing in a carnal-minded interpretation. You did that. And when you succeed, because you align with God, you align the mind with the divine, you did that. You chose that alignment. Spirit's saying Satan is a patsy. Huh. Give me a moment here. Interesting. A patsy, the definition of a patsy. Someone easily being taken advantage of, cheated, blamed, or ridiculed. I'll shorten it. A person who is being blamed. Satan is the patsy for the victims, for the victim mindset. That's, again, this isn't my preference or my bias or my belief. That's Spirit putting those words in my mouth. Prove it wrong. Spirit saying, prove that wrong. See if you can. Experientially. Not logically. Not carnally. Not carnally. That's the limitation, right? The carnal is where we created this whole misinterpretation in the first place. Prove it wrong experientially. Your examination is what grows your discernment and develops your discernment and understanding. Your inner examination of your experience. Experiential examination. Not the logical mind. Let that go. All right, so there's a little bit of a spiritual interpretation and a neat little revelation. Satan's the patsy, eh? He can be usable for those who want to play victim. He can be used just as Jesus can be used for those looking for salvation. Wow. With the right intention, the opposite could be true. And what I mean by right intention is by us making it those things, by us having the belief of the opposite, we can make those true subjectively. Not absolute truth, but true subjectively. Because our beliefs would manifest such. This is how atheists can receive interpretations and validations of supposedly no God, when God is all there is. You know? Interesting. Okay, I'll close this episode for now, my friends. Have a wonderful day. Talk soon. If you found this episode helpful, please consider sharing it with those who may be ready for its message or in need of a spiritual perspective. If you're interested in personal guidance, either online or via email, in order to better align your practice and experience, helping you to grow deeper spiritually, psychically, as a conscious creator, and manifester affecting all areas of your life, including health, relationships, and abundance. You may contact me at aswithinsoul@gmail.com. If you're inspired to support my works and expanding endeavors in the form of a donation, that would be greatly appreciated and can be done by e-transfer or PayPal using my email aswithinsoul@gmail.com.